This video is sponsored by Mark 7 Car Wash Equipment, providing clean, dry, shiny cars for over 50 years. Visit mark7.net for more information.
Hello and welcome to Unscripted, the video series that connects you with market leaders. Today on our Unscripted video, we're happy to welcome Derek Kaufman, Managing Partner at Schwartz Advisors. Hello, Derek, and thank you for joining me here today.
Great to be here, Rich.
All right, sounds good. So Derek, as you know, today's topic is on new emerging automotive technologies and their impact at car washes. I was actually fortunate enough to sit in on one of your presentations at a recent The Car Wash show. And I know you've been advising our industry, particularly International Car Wash Association in recent years about this topic. So in your opinion, Derek, what are some of the most problematic new automotive features for a car wash and why? And then as a follow-up, what are some of the potential associated risks?
All right. Well, it's a good question. I think that most of the advanced driver assistance systems, the ADAS systems in cars, like forward collision or lane departure, they're not supposed to operate at low speeds, the typical speed of an automatic tunnel of a car wash. But we have, in fact, seen issues with ADAS functioning in car washes. Probably the most problematic is the auto shift to park transmission. So in automatic tunnels where a car is running without a driver and it's moving through the wash, attendants will sometimes want to open the door to vacuum the interior. And in auto shift cars, that car is going to shift itself into park, stopping it in the tunnel. Then the attendant needs to quickly get in the car and shift it back into neutral. And we've heard stories about people fumbling with that, people being caught off guard, and the cars actually being hit from the rear. Now, look, car wash operators are innovative. They've developed workarounds to handle these situations, but it takes more time. It may require more labor. So, it's a financial drain on car wash operations.
For sure, yeah, it's never good when the car wash is down or there's damage done. So certainly a topic operators are mindful of these days. In 2019, Derek, when news broke that the Mercedes-Benz 2020 GLS featured a car wash mode, I reached out to you and you explained to me at the time that the feature was quote unquote very close to what your team had envisioned in 2017, a 2017 report on ADAS challenges for car washes. So can you please share a little bit more about the highlights of that report or any updated report and or findings?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. In 2017, we worked with the International Car Wash Association. We surveyed about 245 of their members who owned 500 car wash locations. And we asked them about their experiences with ADAS technology. And over 60% of them reported problems with the auto shift to park transmissions. But also about 40% noted that they're having trouble with stop-start triggering in the car wash. About 38% had forward collision avoidance system issues. And about 38% of them also said that the exterior wash brushes were hitting keypads, the keyless entry pads on the doors, simultaneously and locking the doors of the cars with the fobs inside. So that's obviously a problem. So in that report, we called on the vehicle manufacturers to take kind of a two-step approach to solve these issues. Our number one was to design a car wash mode that would be activated by the driver to deactivate the ADAS features while in the wash. So as you approach the wash, you hit a button and it would deactivate the systems. Number two was a more automated feature. We said that a sensor could be put in the car that would know the car was entering into a car wash and turn the systems off until a sensor at the end of the wash then would reactivate them. We actually contacted vehicle manufacturers. We presented the survey results to the Alliance of Automobile Manufacturers and the Global Alliance. They're the same organization now. And I also presented the survey to the SAE World Conference for all the engineers that attend that in the automotive industry. And I know that ICA has done multiple communications in the industry on the issue. And I guess what we learned, in that experience was that vehicle manufacturers just don't have a mechanism to hear something like that from a third party like us, and to put it into some kind of action inside the company. It's no doubt that they've heard the message, but I think they have trouble acting on it. As you note, we finally did see, you brought up the Mercedes car, and that was the first one that said, okay, somebody understands this. They created what they call a car wash mode. So what you do there is you hit the button. It's actually a touchscreen function on the car, and it raises the car up on its suspension. It folds in the mirrors. It turns off the parking sensors. I think it turns off the wipers, obviously. It deactivates. They have a Parktronic for parallel parking on that car. And it would warn you that either your windows or your sunroof was open. So, it's a nice feature. It proves that you can route all those things in. It was a good first step. They didn't go quite far enough, right? They didn't activate or deactivate the auto shift to park transmission, but it certainly shows that they can do it. And we've seen some other activity as well. Audi vehicles now will recognize that they are approaching a wash. All they do is basically warn you that you should have these features turned off. They don't actually turn off the features. And Honda's done, I think, a particularly good job with its owner's manual to group all the steps to set up for the car wash in one section of the owner's manual. So there is headway being made.
And you and I talked recently about it being a gradual process. These manufacturers obviously just can't flip a switch here to design cars to be 100% safe to be at a car wash. So knowing what you know now and working with the manufacturers, what is the ideal car wash mode feature? And are manufacturers currently offering it or working towards it? And really, what's the timeline that operators can expect where this might be a smaller issue or even a non-issue? Hopefully.
Oh, good. I think the industry goes about it in two different ways, and it kind of goes back to our original thoughts. But it's a manual function that would allow you to group the functions electrically in the car into one button, and it's automatic. So if it's a button in the car, all the ADAS features, the ride height, the mirrors, everything that could be affected by a car wash, the systems deactivate or they set to a car wash setting or mode at the push of a button, and then all of them reactivate. Obviously, the key, from a liability or risk standpoint, is they all have to reactivate. So maybe you set that up so that when the car hits 5 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, everything resets. So you make sure that you have your safety features in place. I think the ultimate, obviously, is a fully automatic sensor. With the number of sensors on cars now, we know this is absolutely doable, that a sensor could be placed in the car wash and in every car that would tell the car it was approaching a car wash tunnel. It would set everything or deactivate everything, and then there would be a sensor at the end of the tunnel, and as the car exits, it would reactivate everything. This is going to be necessary as the more autonomous vehicles come into the market anyway. So I think it's a matter of time. I really think that you'll start seeing car wash mode features here heavily now in the next 3 years. It takes 18 months to 24 to 36 months to get a design through. It's not as easy as just rewiring the car. You've got to test things if it affects crash modes. All those things need to be tested. So we understand why it takes time, but we definitely see it coming.
Okay, understood. So in the meantime, if a car wash operator sees a new automobile entering the lot that might have some of these features that you described here today, what can they do to best protect their businesses and their customers and their employees against some of these new automotive technologies?
Well, I think maybe the number one thing there is educating their employees on these technologies. We worked with ICA in 2018 and 2019 to go through every owner's manual of every model of vehicles, and we placed all of the car wash instructions on their website in an operator's section. It's called the technology portal. And with COVID in 2020, we weren't able to continue doing it in 2020, but there are 2 or 3 model years of information there. So most of it is still highly accurate. And it would tell technicians inside the car wash or operators, how to set up the car. So I think that, that might be number one. I think actually number 2 might be to educate your customers so that they can create, not only that they know how to set up their cars, because people get flustered as they approach a car wash and they begin to fumble around trying to set different buttons on the car. That's not really doable. But what we could do is have them create a groundswell of customer satisfaction reviews with vehicles, with just a little bit of coordination out there and maybe some use of social media. We could alert the car companies that their customers want this, and they very seriously want it. And if they saw more of those reactions out there, I think that things would maybe they would quicken the pace. The technology is going to keep coming here. It will change continuously, and I think we just all need to continue to pressure the vehicle manufacturers to add the car wash modes to their cars.
Yeah, certainly nobody can argue that these new automotive features are bad for road safety and things like that, but certainly they can present challenges to operators out there. So, Derek, thank you for keeping our industry informed and taking a few minutes here to do this interview for carwash.com.
Enjoy doing it, Rich. Always good to talk to you. Thank you.